Just as Fred said, I want to assert that I did not write the first line of this introduction. It's Daniel. On his decision to transfer from Ancaster to Queens, Daniel Romo says, quote, "It's one of the best decisions of my life." Daniel's poetry can be found or is forthcoming in Gargoyle, the Los Angeles Review, Poesius, Blog Clarity, Side, Kill Author, and other journals and anthologies. He's a multiple Best of the Net nominee and multiple Pushcart Prize nominee. His first book of poetry, Romancing Gravity, is forthcoming this spring from Pecan Grove Press, and his second book of poetry, When Kerosene's Involved, is forthcoming this summer from Black Coffee Press. He teaches high school creative writing and represents the LBC, and he bleeds Dodger blue a lot. He's
I wrote that. Thank you, Fred, Michael, and Melissa, for having me. Thank you to all my mentors I've had, starting with the people I've had at Antioch, Richard Garcia, Carol Potter, and to come here and work with Alan and Claudia has just been a great experience. And thank you to all for all your encouragement and all your support. So I'll be reading from my manuscript. It's a book of prose poems. It's called When Kerosene's Involved. Singe. Grandpa Manuel burned the beaks of chicks, scooped them up in his rancher hands and played agricultural matchmaker, searing metal kissing their tiny mouths. He said they didn't feel the pain, and he was protecting them from jealous henhouse squawks that would someday bloody their bodies. When they were older, fatter, juicier, he tied their spindly legs with rope and hung them upside down from a branch in his backyard like foul gallows. They flailed, wanting to fly away, even after he slid the blade through their necks, glossy eyes staring like they always knew they lived for this. He lived with us after the accident. I sat at the table eating sugar cookies. He stuck the needle in his stomach and checked his insulin. He used to mow lawns and scope gardens 8 hours a day. Now, sometimes he took walks around the block and picked the next door neighbor's forget-me-nots. I didn't go to his funeral. It was the first day of high school when I convinced myself I didn't want to see his eyes closed so tight. He came to this country teenage and penniless. He never learned to read. I got C's throughout high school and relied on Cliff's Notes. There was nothing about mourning. Agriculture. And what of the farmer who exposes his genitalia again? The secret entrance in his overalls dropping like a half-hidden cellar door. Long John's long gone. His posture is granite, his face is slate, like posing for a picture beside a prize heifer. Pitchfork parallel to his fist, steadfast, puncturing the moon. Long nights nestled between cornfields and cottontails can be lonely. The slow churn of butter at dawn can only give a man so much. Porch lanterns highlight his silhouette. Stars shine brightest in the Midwest. He scores his own soundtrack, melodies like tractor tilling soil, like scarecrows snoring on the job, like not making love. And what of the misses? He is a decent man, can't even make moonshine. And what of the hungry fox that sneaks into the henhouse leaving only feathers, beaks, feet? And what of the tornado that rips newborns from their mother's arms? And what of the midnight concerto from 24 crickets, letting him know they've been there before? Formal. I asked my prom date out with a poem. AABB rhyme scheme teeming with sweetness and timidity, neatly folded and tucked in her locker. I know I don't know you very well, not really much for that matter, but I can tell. You and I will get along great. Will you be my prom date? She said yes, but that's the only time I heard an affirmative from her. She was shapely, a poor brown girl in a lace red dress who sat on manicured hands in a stretch white limo. She didn't slow dance. I passed on the creme brulee. We were home by 1. The night was a haiku I haven't forgotten. I wrote a sonnet for the girl I wanted to ask, Melissa, but was too shy to ever give it to her. I don't remember how it goes. Word problem number 37. Train A departs Duluth at 7 a.m. traveling 20 miles per hour faster than Train B, which departs from Sheboygan at 6 a.m. The conductor of Train A is drunk. The conductor of Train B is asleep. They travel on the same track from opposite directions because X and Y equal bitter saboteurs who have never been able to solve their identity crisis. There will be an explosion. Everyone will catch on fire and die. How far will the char limbs fly when the trains collide head-on and create algebraic wreckage? Show your work. Clairvoyance. The blind man is not blind. He walks wayward, wiggling his cane so as to not let folks find out the truth. The twinkling tin cup tarnishes his credibility. The dark spectacles assert to solicit sympathy are visions of stereotype. Tomorrow I'll expose him for the fraud he is. Tell him it's wrong to belittle the handicapped. Then I'll kick his ass and rail. Him and his deaf girlfriend. One of the classes I teach is 9th grade English. Sometimes I get bored. Pancho as protagonist in the 9th grade grammar book. Nouns. Pancho lives in Mexico with his family. Pronouns. He sells chiclets on the streets to help provide for them. Simple sentences. Pancho's feet always ache. The soles of his sandals are sad. Complex sentences. It is not unusual for Pancho to hustle his gum upwards of 10 hours a day. Because even though he's young, he understands the futility he faces. Nor is it unusual for his parents to search for ways to smuggle their family into southernmost Cali, work their way upwards to Fresno where Fernando and his illegal clan pick grapes, sans fear of deportation because their boss knows what it's like to feel half a human. Fragments. To feel like dirt, lower than soil. Soot unfortunate ancestors' bones are born into. A sedimentary cast. Simple sentence review. Pancho cries at night. He wipes tears before they hit the ground. He doesn't want to wake his parents. Gerunds. Sometimes the tourists pay him pity money for vacationing next to poverty, for traveling besides squalor, where Pancho and his family are currently/permanently living.